I was a piano major there. At the time, like all I knew was music. At the time, I was like a classical trained pianist. I knew my grades weren't necessarily going to get me in a lot of places. Don't get me wrong, I was decent, and now I'm known as A&R Cal. The first thing I look at is there music and content on your page?
Yeah. What is going on, you guys? Welcome to Dorm Room 101 podcast. Whoa. The podcast that has everything and nothing to do about college. I am your girl, Maya Gittins. And of course, I am here with Victoria, my heart. Period. My heart. And today we have a special guest with us, and we have Calvin with us today. I'm very excited to have him on the potty. And yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I got a long day ahead of me, but
Period.
It's nice to be back in the city.
How was Nashville?
Nashville was excellent. It was so refreshing, and I mean, I'm always happy to get out of the city for a little while. But yeah, it was really excellent working with country artists as opposed to rappers, and just the vibes out there were it was great. It was different, but I liked it.
How was in a sense, like why do you feel like it was like refreshing? Because obviously that's like our first time doing like something like that.
Well, I've worked in rap for so long, even outside of On the Radar and all the stuff I'm doing. You know, it's just the people out there. It's just a different type of music. It's a different type of vibe out there. People, in terms of artists coming in, like it's not just like a vocal track and the beat.
Yeah.
It's like people are coming in with guitars, pianos, full bands. Music is obviously a lot chiller. But it was also interesting because there's so many, and I wasn't too aware of this, but there were so many different sectors of country music. So, we're working with, like indie country. It was like a mix of rap country, R&B, like every side you can think of. Yeah, I really enjoyed working with country artists.
Period. That's what I'm talking about. I'm happy that you guys got into like, because I remember like egging y'all like, no, you have to do country. Like, you got to do it. Please, 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 please. And y'all were like,
We were definitely on the fence at first.
Yeah, they were definitely on the fence at first. And I was like, please, like, I'm asking you, like, you're never going to, I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. So I really am happy that did happen. Stay tuned for that content, because that content is going to be
a lot of fun.
Wild. Like, I'm very excited for that content. But tell us about your college experience.
So I went to Syracuse University. I graduated in 2019. I technically graduated with a Bachelor's of Music Industry, which is a pretty broad term, if you ask me. But at the time when I was like applying to colleges, I went to a music high school. I went to LaGuardia here in New York. I was a piano major there. At the time, like all I knew was music. At the time, I was like a classical trained pianist. But when it came time to apply to colleges, I didn't really know where in music I wanted to be. I just knew I needed to be in music somehow. And I actually first was accepted as a piano performance major. And then I learned more about their industry program and quickly switched over there. And during, I'll be taking a lot of music business classes on. It was a mix of both, like piano classes, because it was a music industry degree, but you had to still have still be doing music. So I was doing piano. I was even in a choir, but I was able to. I started putting on. There was a really great live music scene in Syracuse.
Really.
Really great live music scene because where all the students lived off campus, there were a lot of people who started throwing house parties with live music, literally in their apartments. But there was a good community of there. There was always a few houses putting shows on every weekend. And in my junior year, I started throwing them myself too. And they're just connected with the community out there, started helping them out. It's funny, I ended up doing sound for a few of them sometimes. It was a very small community, and it would be in like, either hot, sweaty basements or a hot, sweaty attic. And, just using like one PA and one speaker, one mic, like just trying to make it work. But but yeah, but getting into that community like was so excellent. I really learned a lot about putting on live music. I even had a class um, at the school, which basically you have like where you we partnered up with the local. It was Westcott Theater. It was like the local venue in Syracuse, and they kind of taught us the ins and outs and how that
Oh
worked.
wow.
And I very much value what I learned at Syracuse, not necessarily for what the degree is, but
Yeah.
the knowledge I learned about everything else. I mean, don't get me wrong, I learned a lot. I learned a lot in my industry classes, and I had a lot of great teachers that taught me a lot. But at the end of the day, I feel like now, post college, it's not really my degree that has gotten me through these doors. It's a lot of the knowledge that I know surrounding it, though.
Yeah. Talk about it, please.
Yeah, and but it was great, you know. Also, like every year, we would have seminar classes where they would bring in people from the industry every week, which was very cool. Be wide ranges of people. It's funny. I remember my freshman year, I think the chain smokers came and spoke, which was actually really funny
Whoa.
because they went there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and they came the weekend they were doing a show. Yeah, it was like a spring fest, and it was headlined by Chainsmokers and Chance the Rapper around when he was doing like a whole 10-day stuff. So that was
That's
cool.
fire.
Oh, wow.
Dang,
10-day, or not
Syracuse
10-day,
sounds fire.
that's right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like that sounds like a really. I've never thought of Syracuse. Obviously, like living in North Carolina, so like that just was never.
I think every time I think of Syracuse, I think of like party.
Yeah.
You know, I always hear about like the
I
party
mean, it was
school.
definitely they definitely had a large Greek life
Oh wow.
out there, but there were there was a really big community. You know, for all the people that weren't in Greek life, you know, there were lots of parties that were there that had a lot of live music, and that was a big part of what I was doing there. Yeah, I was doing that for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So like going into it, right? Like you wanted to be like a piano performer, right?
It was just what I knew at the time.
Okay, okay. So you never like seen yourself like just being that, or like was it more
I
like I
definitely
want to go
did.
behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did at a time. For a while, I mean, I started playing piano when I was 8 years old.
Wow.
And as I got old, you know, I started taking lessons. Fun fact, my piano teacher, shout out Margaret Pine, she was the same piano teacher that taught Alicia Keys, which was cool.
What the
Yeah.
heck?
Yeah, but
You just casually said that.
Facts.
no, but it was great. But, you know, I started playing when I was younger. I was the one who wanted to do it. It wasn't like my parents forced it on me or anything. And as I got older, I took it more seriously. But I was playing a lot of classical music, a lot of ragtime music from the 1920s, Scott Joplin, stuff like that. And you know, in New York City, you know, again, the high school process is very
Yeah.
serious here, especially when it comes to like the specialized high schools and stuff. You got to audition and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got into piano, and you know, their curriculum is like, you know, half your day you're taking piano classes and music classes, and the other half, you know, you're doing all your regular
Yeah,
history,
math,
math, all that
yeah.
shit. And that, so you know, from when I was very young, I was always playing piano. For a while, you know, I just loved music. You know, I was doing some production. I was working with, I had friends who were in bands and stuff like that. I can't exactly remember the moment that I switched over where I was like, where it clicked in me, where I wanted to be on the back end and do like music industry stuff and be, you know, be on the outside of it. But like, I think when I, you know, like I said, when I applied for colleges and I got in Syracuse, all I knew is that I wanted to be in music. I wasn't really quite sure where. And I think, I don't know, I think getting into college and I think, I don't know, I just realized I didn't want to just be a performer. You know, I got a lot of anxiety. I'm not trying, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
be in
not,
front
I'm
of
not,
thousands of people.
like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm getting better at public speaking.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm here.
Facts.
Right.
Because you was like, I'm nervous. I was like,
But
no need.
I think I realized how much fun it is to really get to work with artists and to put things together and be a part of, you know, other artists' stories and be able to build them up. And live music was the main thing for me. Like
Yeah.
even when I mean, y'all know me now. You guys know I'm outside. I'm going to all these shows.
Outside.
You guys know I go to hundreds of shows a year, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that started when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Too. Like, I would get tickets to shows, sneak in my camera, like very early on in high school, Gov Ball, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I just loved live music, and once I was able to start to put that together when I was in college, start to put together these shows, because I had an apartment, I lived with other music majors, we had the equipment,
Wow.
so I would just start curating lineups with my friends that I knew who rapped, who played guitar, stuff like that. I think I did a good amount of shows in my junior and senior year. It was in the same house, but I think just starting to put those shows on, and I just learned a lot about the ins and outs of the industry and how, what really goes into putting festivals and shows together. But also, Syracuse is also where I first started to get my first like legitimate press passes, because when I was in college, I started doing blogging, music blogging.
Okay.
I was trying to work my way into the industry. So
Damn, Calvin.
so I was doing blogging for a while, and the Syracuse had it's called the University Union. Shout out them. They've always done a really good job with they do all the spring festivals and bringing artists to the shows. So through them, I started getting my first like press passes to shoot like the shows that they would bring.
Yeah.
Which was very cool. And I think some of the early shows I got to shoot was like Gucci Mane and SZA, where SZA was opening up for Gucci Mane in like 2017, 2018, like wild shows. Rico Nasty, Kenny Beats. There were some good ones up there.
Wow.
But that's really where I first started to get my first press passes. And then, once I graduated and I started to have some things under my belt, a little bit more experiences, working with these blogs was definitely a helpful way to start getting my foot in the door,
So obviously you talked about kind of like the college process in a sense of like applying and stuff. Do you think that process was hard for you?
And applying to colleges?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What?
Yeah, like how did was Syracuse like your dream school? Like did you plan to go to Syracuse? Like how was that like getting like the grades prepared and like doing all of that?
I knew my grades weren't necessarily going to get me in a lot of places. Don't get me wrong, I was decent.
Yeah.
But it's not like I was getting straight A's. Like I was not relying on my grades to get into schools. But and I knew that art didn't, if you're doing, I feel like if you have a passion and something that sets you aside from the general pool of people, it definitely helps when applying to colleges. Especially when writing whatever cover letters and all the essays and stuff, when applying, being able to talk about something that you really have a passion for definitely helps a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so stressful. I mean, think about all the hundreds of colleges and the thousands of people applying every year.
And they cost money to apply. Like I didn't realize that it costs money to actually apply for schools.
Yeah.
Like why am I paying? I'm about to pay you thousands of dollars possibly, and then I got to pay for my application. Like you could give me
and then you could get denied too.
Exactly. So like my $50 just basically went to another kid or to
Be
really the athlete.
We're already broke.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Like I already have no money and I have to pay. That's why I always chose like my top 3 or 4 schools, because I knew that I would have to sit there and like try to figure out, okay, if I only have like $200 to spend, is $50 $50? Like I have to literally like actually think about where I want to go. Think about an Ivy League. Absolutely not. Imagine. It's probably like 100, 150 to apply.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it. I couldn't.
Syracuse was definitely in my top 3.
Okay.
I forgot what my top school was, but there were I got into a decent amount of schools. Like I got into a couple other schools for their music programs. I almost went to University of Miami. I think that was like one of my top schools for their music school.
Yeah.
They have a really great program there. But I was happy to go to Syracuse. Also I'm from New York City, so although don't get me wrong, New York State is fucking massive. It was like a 5-hour drive out there, like especially taking the Greyhound like up there, like.
That sounds insane.
But proximity definitely played into it, because I definitely wanted to get out of the city and kind of be independent, but I didn't want to be too far away that I can't like go home if I needed to,
Yeah.
so.
So obviously, like, speaking of now and coming out of post-grad and things of that nature, how was that process of like the post-grad life? Like your first year or two coming out of college?
It's a lot of just figuring things out.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, like I said before, I was able to kind of hit the ground running when I graduated because I already had some experiences working with blogs and shooting concerts. And so, I mean, I can speak to what I know. For me, it was a lot of, I was trying to get my foot in the industry, just trying to start to make a name for myself.
Yeah.
Start to be able to really work in music serious, starting at the ground level. But I started connecting with, being active on emails and Instagram, reaching out to venues and artists to start to be able to connect with them, start to shoot their shows and stuff like that. The other thing is, like, I never really intended it. Like, I've always done photography, but there wasn't one moment where I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a music photographer. Like, it was kind of just like, it kind of helped getting my foot. I love photography.
Yeah.
And like, so it was just a helpful way to get in there.
Yeah.
And shout out SOBs. Shortly after I graduated, they were one of the venues that would let me just slide through, come take pictures. And it was great. I built up a great rep there. And from there, starting to work with these artists, getting my name out there, posting my work, started to build out from there, networking my fucking ass off, everywhere. That's why I was outside so much, just trying to just network and connect with people and try to work my way up.
I definitely feel like you like outside though.
I do. I'm tired now though. Like, I'm more selective with outside. Don't get me wrong. I'm outside. I got a show. I'm going to a show tonight. I'm going to a show tomorrow night. Yeah. But I'm definitely more selective with it. Yeah. But it was definitely, being outside is a good way to get your name out, get your rep, build a reputation for yourself, being able to put a face to your name.
To a name, yeah. I didn't realize that,
that's really important these days. That's also why I'm trying to do more podcasts and stuff like that. You can actually learn about me.
That's what I'm talking about. This is Calvin, guys. Okay, like, face, name, that's him. But how has the experience been at like OTR? Because honestly, now you're basically in our Cal. Like, that's the name. Like, yes, you do photography, like we know that, but like you are
in our Cal.
You're in our Cal.
I mean, it's funny. Like I was saying, like, from being outside when after I graduated, that's how I met Gabe in the first place. Was just from seeing him at events and seeing him at concerts and festivals. And I believe, like, after it's New York. When you're outside, you got to meet someone a few times, before they really remember your name and shit. But I remember one moment. I think it must have been. It was Rolling Loud, New York. It must have been like the second to last one that happened. But I saw him outside. He was there. He was doing. I think it was just him and Rob or something, or maybe maybe he was doing something for Power. I don't know. In any case, I saw him there, and he was like, "Yo, like, let's really connect." Like, took down his number and everything, and the first time he invited me to the studio at the old studio. Shout out HMD.
Period.
Was the first Ladies' Night Cypher that we did. The first one, the OJ one with Lola Brooke and all of them, and that was Connie Diamond, something like that. That was a great one. That was, not damn near 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now. I forget what the question was, but yeah, that's it. But that's how, like, guys, and after that, that went well. They liked the pictures, and from there, Gabe started inviting me by more and more until I was there damn near every day.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was just a photographer here, just there for, building my experiences up. But once, after being there for a few months, Gabe was like, all right, let's really bring you on.
Yeah.
Do this for real. And, for a while, I was just doing all the thumbnails, taking all the photos, taking all the thumbnails there every day while balancing a day job too.
Yeah.
And
The grind does not stop.
Yeah, and it just after being there for doing that for like a year or so, started building, started doing more for the team. Because we're not a big team at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Especially when I started, it was just Gabe and Rob and sometimes Cam.
Yeah.
That was how it started. And, and that's, I just tried to offer more value and I want to do more, So I one day I slowly started bringing, recommending artists. I mean, with a small team, everything, there's a lot of overlap with what you do. There's a lot of, Gabe, he asks us our opinion, he values our opinion.
Yeah.
So I just started suggesting artists here and there. And just started doing more and more and started to click. And I feel like once we moved into the new studio, that's when I really started bringing up artists for real. And now I'm known as A&R Cal.
Seriously.
In this, I just tallied it up. Even in this year alone, it is on April 19th. We on the radar has dropped 24 artists that I brought up this year. This is not including the ones that haven't dropped yet.
Yeah. So
but
imagine
24
that.
have dropped that I've done.
That's insane. But I feel like you have an ear for music. I've noticed that, and I think first of all, I never knew you played piano until you posted it that day when y'all were in Nashville. And I was like, so secret talent or no? Like, and I saw that and I was like, now I understand, like, because Cal would bring people, and at first I'm like, who the heck are these people? But then when I listen to like the freestyles and stuff, I'm like, oh no, like Cal knows what he's doing. And I think that stems from like you really knowing like live music and playing the piano, like having that ear for music.
And it's a variety too.
Yeah, Cal.
It's not just one section. Like,
he knows
it's all over the place.
Everybody. Like I remember seeing even I don't want to get their name wrong. Delivery Boys. Oh my! When I listened to that, I was like, and then you posted the picture of like you having them when you were in college, and I was like, imagine just like that full circle moment where you're like, wow, like you've grown, they've grown, and like just having a platform where you can really like give them more from basement or like an attic.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing about the Delivery Boys moment is that I've known those guys for damn near like 10 years.
Wow.
Because I went to Max Gertler of Delivery Boys. I went to high school with his younger brother. And then I also went to college with him too. But I met Max around the same time because we had a lot of mutual friends and stuff when I was still in high school. And they were still Delivery Boys then.
Wow.
They were figuring things out, but they were really big on SoundCloud, and they were like the first like rap group who I actually like knew them, Like, so it's been cool to be able to grow with them and and I was talking to them about trying to bring them down on the radar for a while, and it just so happened it worked out well. It worked out very well because Gabe, I was waiting, They were sitting around the 2,000 mark, and not that numbers matter, but I was kind of waiting for them to kind of like boost up a little bit because I knew that they can. Yeah, I knew they just needed that little push, Yeah. And Gabe sent me a video of this kid Ben Beal, and from LA, and in the background of the video is all the Delivery Boys.
Wow.
And Gabe's like, "Hey, can you get this kid on the show?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. Can we get my boys in the back on the show too?" Like. Because I knew I already had that connection to them too, and they're all friends. Yeah. So through Max, I booked both Delivery Boys and Ben Beal, and wow. Now, millions of views later, it's great because not on the radar can do a lot for artists, but only if you really only if you really act on it, Yeah. Like, freestyles come and go. Freestyles are forgotten. But if you really do it well, it can really change lives.
Freestyles can be forgotten. Okay?
Freestyles can be forgotten. Yeah. You got to think about, we shoot, sometimes up to 10 artists in one day. Yeah. We did that Monday to Friday. Yeah. All year.
And then that depends on like...
Monday to Thursday, sorry.
Well, really, it depends on too, because Friday, Saturday can also be a take where it's like we should have
special
off.
Occasions.
But
if we're in the studio on the weekend, that's how you know it's special.
Somebody's there for sure.
No, but the Delivery Boys did it so well because I'm not sure when this is dropping, but we have a second part to Delivery Boys. Delivery Boys, they did their cipher, and they chose to rap over Viva La Vida and Redbone and like Kesha, like, and I remember Jamie telling them, "Yeah, this is what we're doing." I'm like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
But I know them. I knew these guys that can rap because I saw the potential virality of it.
Yeah.
So I said, "Fuck it, let's do it." But we have that coming, and so they have that moment. They started getting late. Record labels are reaching out.
Yeah.
I'm helping them, start to coordinate some stuff. See if I can make something shake. 'Cause these guys really deserve it.
Manager Calvin maybe next. It's giving
Not there yet, but I wanna help my guys.
Yeah, of
and
course.
that's the best part about working in the music industry is to really be able to build with these artists and grow with them, be able to bring opportunities to them. Really, just be a part of artist stories and make things happen.
Yeah.
That's the best part of it, and it just so happens that with Delivery Boys that they're childhood friends.
Wow.
So
I know that's like
it's amazing.
Such a full circle.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Who knows? By the time you're watching this, maybe they've gotten offers by now.
Maybe they're already signed. Who knows? Like,
exactly.
you never know, like, what could literally happen. But obviously, you were talking about, like, artistry and things like that. I think a big thing that I'm seeing, and we had talked about on another episode with somebody about just, like, that independent artist and how I think OTR really does help, in a sense, get people to get looked at. And I think that's why a lot of artists push to get on OTR, because it's like, oh, people are going to notice me. But at the same time, it's like, if you are not per se doing the work, like you said, you were like, okay, let me wait until they kind of get to a certain point or whatever. And it's like, I feel like people expect to get onto OTR and think that like their life is about to become this like new world.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like, that's not how it works. So what would you say to people who like want to come on OTR and like they're like, oh my God, like my life is going to be like so different? Like, what would you say to them?
Look, we get hundreds of emails a day. You got to stand out, but you got to be. There's no right or wrong answer. The answer to getting on the radar and just platforms and like us in general. It's not black and white. At least not for us. You can't. First of all, you can't pay to come to our headquarters. Mm-hmm. That's off rip. Like for anyone trying to offer money, that's not the way to go about it. But, you got to look when we're going to look up, let's say somebody reaches out to us, hey, check out this artist. First of all, in the email, if you're not sending the Instagram links, if you're not sending the socials links to their Spotify, places where you can really see their art, that's not going to do anything. If adding that extra step will push people away. Mm-hmm. Just having all of that laid out in front makes a huge difference. And then, you got to go to the artist page. So, first of all, like the first thing I look at is there music and content on your page? Yeah. Like when people reach out to us, they're like, hey, I want to get on the show. And I go look at your page and it's just like it's just like fit pics or like pictures of money. Or it's like, or
you got maybe like one song. That's
or it's like your hair page or something like that. Like, that's a big red flag. It shows us that you're not taking your music seriously. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what that's the biggest part about it is like we don't want people on the show up for no reason. Yeah. We want these to go out, even though we don't we don't want to waste our time. We don't want to waste the artist's time. Yeah. When people come in, we want these videos to go out and do well. Yeah. And the best way to do that is to make sure you're an artist that takes your craft seriously. You're prepared. You have a good energy about you. And also in your connections too. Go looking at pages, let's see who the mutuals are. Let's see who's in the comments. Let's see who likes their videos. Like, is it people that we know? Are these people reliable? Or can people vouch for them? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I was like just having a conversation with Maya about this, and I'm like, I feel like artists, they go and they feel like they could post a SoundCloud link and then just go off the grid, and that's not how it works. Like, no, you want to become an artist, you want your music to do well, you can't just post a SoundCloud link. You have to present yourself, you have to present your brand.
Help us,
and
help
who
you
are. Ooh. Yeah, exactly.
Period. Help us, help you, help me, help
I think so many people, they look at OTR and they're like, yeah, that's gonna be it because OTR helps small artists. But
we do. Look, we in the same week that we dropped Drake, we dropped, regular artists from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, and it's really about how you carry yourself and also how you follow up. Are you gonna post this? Is freestyle gonna go up and then you don't do anything? You're not gonna promote it. Like you're not like, because it happens all the time. People will post a freestyle and then no music, nothing, no follow up, no. If you don't follow up on what you do, then it's not going to go as far as you want it to.
Yeah, that is very true.
Sending it out, and artists can do a lot with it after these videos go out. Send it out to your blogs, send it out to blogs, send it out to friends. Try to send it to radios. There are so many different avenues that you can do with it. Big thing right now is also meme pages too. Like, I feel like, and reaction videos. Reaction videos are really
they're coming back.
Reaction videos right now are crazy, and I'm not talking about just like a Kai Cenat. Shout out Kai Cenat, and everyone, all the bigger people doing it is amazing, and really changing people's lives. But also the smaller guys too on like TikTok and YouTube. I'll be finding random ass people with like 100 followers, and they'll have hilarious reactions and different takes on the freestyles. And those really help drive and push these videos for sure.
I want to ask, how do you feel about the people that make the fake ones where like they'll put their song and have like somebody's reaction from a different video?
Tacky.
I'm so sorry. I was not expecting that to come out of your mouth. I was expecting like
it's becoming tacky. Like trending now.
It's obvious. We can see that it's fake and not as genuine. I mean, look, it's fun. It can be funny sometimes for sure, but personally, I think it's tacky.
Yeah. Which is understandable.
Be original.
Yeah.
Especially like, you got the music, you got the sound.
Yeah.
You can get those original reactions yourself.
Yeah, that is very true.
Especially, and you want these reaction videos, you want them to be tailor-made to you. Like, you want them to be saying something about your song and mentioning the artist, some sort of mention.
That is very true. Damn, he said, I don't know why I tacky.
Like, if it's just the same Kai Cenat video of him going like this, listening to music, taking his headphones off, the amount of times I see that video, it's so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on,
that's how I felt about it, but I wanted him to say it.
Yeah, he can say it. I don't think I can say it.
Look, people, I respect it though. People, people are just trying to make it seem like they're bigger than they actually are,
Yeah.
Which is, I think that has a lot to do with like the way we view social media as a whole, and this lifestyle of like, oh, like I want to be there or I want to do this, and they think social media is this platform where it's like, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna blow up and that's gonna be my life, and it's like, no, unfortunately you have to keep going.
None of these platforms is the end all be all for you and your career. None of them.
Damn.
Not even us.
You heard that?
You think that if this is the top and this is as far as you need to go in terms of your artistry and your music,
then this is not for you.
Then you have not set your sights far enough.
Yeah, then this is literally not for you at all. Look, in my opinion.
We can change lives, but like I said, it's really about how you act on it and what you do, what you follow up with. Hey, look, like pages like us, 4 Shooters Only, we have changed people's lives. It is shown and proven.
Yeah,
but it's because these artists really acted upon their freestyles afterwards, really put in the work to get the word out there.
That makes so much sense. What would be 3 pieces of advice you would give to people who either are artists or are in college and are, just kind of looking for advice on how to go about that post life or just college in general?
Again, unfortunately, it's nothing that's so black and white.
Yeah.
But I think it helps having a passion for something specific. Think about how many people are economics majors.
Yeah.
Like, think about the hundreds and thousands of applications that go into that.
Yeah.
Having a specific drive in a field where people are looking for specific things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not just your regular run of the mill. You know, if they can make 100 of you, you're not valuable. You know, if they can find 100 more of who you are,
yeah,
then you're just gonna stay in the same place.
Oh my God, these are gems, Calvin.
I'm full
gems.
But it definitely helped me. Being focused on music, and again, like I didn't necessarily know where I wanted to go in music. I just knew that it needed to be in music. And navigating that, just being able to focus on something more specific, as opposed to these general and broad. It's and even especially in a world where degrees don't even matter so much anymore. It's about your experience. People don't want to just look at people aren't first of all just looking at a sheet of paper about somebody. You're not going to find out anything about them. Like, yeah, cool. You can find out about where they worked, what they did, but you don't know anything about them.
Yeah, very true. True.
And that's why I say like they can find 100 more of you because all these on paper, it's all the same thing to them. It's just a piece of paper. Yeah.
Damn.
It's just a box to fill.
Damn. Whoa. I'm not gonna lie, Calvin was dropping gems. Like, I'm so excited for this episode to come out that I might hold it just for a little longer. I ain't even gonna lie.
But I think this is even gonna like help other artists too. That think that they could just go on the radar without.
The emails might drop a little bit. Yeah. They're like, you know what?
It's all about how you follow up.
Yeah, like it definitely plays a part. But thank you so much.
Don't just say you're about it. Actually, be about it.
Oh, say that one more time.
Don't just say you're about it. Actually be about it and prove it.
Period. Make sure you do what you got to do. Thank you. Smiles from Calvin. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dorman 101 Podcast, the podcast that has everything and nothing to do about college. Of course, I am your girl, Maya Gaines, with Victoria and our special guest, Calvin, for today. Thank you so much for coming and dropping so many gems. And I cannot wait to see what life has in store for you because honestly, like, you're just doing the damn thing at this point. So
I'm still just figuring it out.
Aren't we all? At this point, but it's okay. Everybody's gonna figure it out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe wherever you're either watching or listening on to.
Smash that motherfucking like button.
Smash it. Thank you. Period. Like, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, we will see you guys in our next video and have a great day or night. Bye.